There's this guy named Calvin Weston, Philadelphia guy. And last year he came out from Philly and played some gigs with him, 25 years later. And he told me, at least stop bass. Put it away. Doesn't play it anymore. The guy was a monster bass player. Like a freight train coming out of his chest. I remember meeting Rashid, and his hat was a turtle shell. Neat. How you doing? Trippy drummer. Beautiful. All right. Oh yeah. Before that, we had a band called People with Eyeball Balls reporting faster, and then we started that chunk of music. Oh, somebody's leash is gone. With another song from John Frusciante's solo album, Empyrean, Before the Beginning, which is the first track. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Want to say something about the first song?
It's kind of our maggot brain.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was inspired by that idea of having an album have a slow start that kind of invites you into a space rather than pushing itself out at you. But
it's not in a hurry.
Yeah, it's not in a hurry to get anything started, and just doing all kinds of tripped out backwards effects of different types, and playing the mixing board like an instrument,
Yeah.
That was another one that was done a lot later.
Yeah, it was one of the last things we did, and it was done really quickly, and it was just kind of trying to round out the record. The album already had this song after the ending that seemed like a real specific type of ending, so I figured I wanted to have a specific type of beginning, and I just thought there's not enough records that start out slowly like that. Like Maggot Brain does, people often just try to put their, big people pleaser out front, and so we figured that we'd start kind of in the murky depths of darkness and rise up out of there and I just for the whole album we were really into just trying to do new things with old styles of recording that in terms of doing all tape edits and no automation on the board, but like me and Josh and the engineer Adam would all just be there with our hands on the board with moves like and stuff. Yeah, so like it was just like sort of trying to do new things with these old techniques that in a lot of ways have been discarded typically in the computer world.
Yeah. Did you ever hear about the Maggot Brain?
Yeah, George Clinton actually came to my house and I played it for him. That Before the Beginning and another song that has sort of an early funkadelic influence. There's nothing funk about the record, but mixing wise, I'm real influenced by the sound of their first three records and that sort of haphazard style of mixing. So yeah, George Clinton's kind of like he told me about like what he was doing, when they were doing that track.
Saying like, your mother died.
You should play like your mother died, yeah. Do you ever hear the original version of that? It's like
with the whole band.
Yeah, it's a whole band.
It was done in the mix with mute buttons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just mixed it like I guess he made like the people in the like the bass player was like, you took away the groove of the song, but to me it is Billy Bass's groove and the drummer's groove. It's like a. It was that way a lot on our record because we do basic tracks with me playing rhythm guitar, and some songs like that didn't have drums. The basic track that we didn't use a click. It would be like play to the groove of my guitar, but we didn't use my rhythm guitar on most things. We
replaced it with the stuff that had a lot less time, like a temporal structure.
Yeah, but it's still that's the groove that's running through everything. I like those kind of invisible connectors. A lot of people use a click track that way, but when it's an actual human groove, it really creates an unusual link between all the overdubs and stuff. Yeah.
you're saying all this experiment in the real time. You know, your first solo record. You ever think about that when you do these things?
Yeah, yeah.
That was really good. Man, that record is wild.
Thanks. Yeah, I did a 4-track thing when I was making this record that sounds exactly like it would have been on my first record. My head is at a pretty similar place. In a lot of ways, I feel like what I did on this record is very similar in a lot of ways to what I would have wanted to do then if I would have known how to use a studio, because it's a pretty psychedelic album, and that was where my head was at that time, and there's a lot of what I was listening to, and I just tried to be that trippy on a 4-track, you know, with just like guitar and voice and backwards, you know, flipping the tape over and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like in a lot of ways I was trying to produce those same kind of effects on the psyche of the listener with this is what I was doing then. I mean, and also like my state of mind when I made that stuff on my first record, I wasn't imagining people ever hearing it. And even though when we started making this record, I was thinking of it like a record, eventually it just became something to play late at night in my living room, to trip my head out and to try to mix in such a way that I would have fun listening to it over and over, because I'm just going, whoa, you know, like, and play it when my friends come over and stuff, just to trip people's heads out. Like, it's not, I'm sort of good at tricking myself that way, I guess. I stopped really even thinking about that it was something that was going to be released. And
we didn't hurry at all. That's why it took.
Yeah, we weren't in any kind of a hurry. We just so it really ended up being done in that same kind of spirit as my first record, where I was making it and thinking this is just for me and my friends. Yeah.
Not Mersh.
Yeah.
I love that record, man. That's wild. It made me think a little bit of Sid Barrett. A little bit. Tiny.
I was really into Sid Barrett at that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that Piper. But then the other two, the Madcap and Barrett.
And Barrett, yeah.
Trippy records.
Yeah, they kind of because the whole time I was playing guitar as a teenager, I really wasn't into acoustic guitar. It was forced on me when I started playing. I had to play acoustic guitar because my parents wouldn't buy me an electric, and I had to prove myself on acoustic. You know?
Yeah.
And so I think I didn't do anything with acoustic guitar for like the first 9 years that I was playing guitar. But when I was 21, and I'd had those Sid Barrett albums for a while, but I got obsessed with them I'd had them since I was like 15, but I got obsessed with them when I was like 21, and it made me become really into writing songs on acoustic guitar and recording. It just made me see acoustic guitar, as something that it's a privilege to play instead of as something that you have to play. Like
the burden. Oh, wow. So when you were coming up with the songs to show that Josh, Flea, and those guys, jamming them out, or in your mind you had like the rhythm guitar is going to be a tool to show them, but I have an idea.
I write the music and the lyrics,
Yeah.
chords and lyrics and melody all at once. It's always been one process with me. So.
But you ever think like, I'll show the guys with the guitar and we'll have that guide track, then I'll lose it.
That was the idea, because I was really at that time I was really enjoying records like the first couple of Roxy Music records and the Doors in the 60s, where the guitar, unlike in most rock music, it's not playing a prominent role. It's more playing like embellishments on top, and it's more. Josh got really good on the organ and electric pianos and stuff like that. In the last few years, he was playing that in a couple of bands that he was on tour with, where I just was really liking I'd never really used those instruments much on my solo records, and then it started to just seem like a good idea to make music that was more where the keyboards are the more the thing that's playing the chords, and if there's a guitar, it's more something on top of it, and then that takes the song away from its original conception. A lot of these songs, when they started, they sounded like kind of just very, very different than they do now. Like now, the chords are the chords are all kind of difficult to place, whereas I used to be really into making